Hey guys, it's Gameface here and welcome back to episode 62 of my Leeds United Career Mode. Now today we are going to be continuing through the January transfer window. We've also got a game coming up against Aston Villa, but before we get into the game we're hopefully going to be signing some new players. We need to try and get some new players in to finish off the season and hopefully end up in a strong position. We are currently, I think, third in the league. I could be wrong. We're certainly doing quite well in the league this year round considering we are a world class. We finished 6th last year when I was on professional. As you can see, we're on third position at the moment, 8 points behind Chelsea though, so it's going to be quite a long time until we get anywhere near to them. But before we get into the episode, if we could go hit 30 likes on this video, that'd be really appreciated. Also, if you haven't already and you're new around here, then please go and subscribe as well. That'd be absolutely fantastic. We've been getting loads of new subscribers recently, so if you could add to that, that'd be absolutely brilliant. And yeah, let's move on to some player development. First of all, to begin things, we are going to be training 5 players. I'm going to keep Berahino in there. Munya, I think, just about stays. Phillips, I think, also will. We might take Galloway out of this one, actually. And we'll maybe train Yedlin for a little bit. We'll give him a bit of a go. Train him up, see how he does. Give him a couple of weeks. And then probably swap it round again. Let's wait and see how he gets on. Oh, we've actually had 2 players going up. Berahino's now 83 and Phillips is 71. So really good news for us. Berahino looking like a really good player now. 83 overall. He's starting to look like a fantastic striker for us. He's obviously scored some very important goals, so kind of makes sense that he's getting upgraded. He's nearly as high as Yaya Toure, which would be absolutely fantastic if he could go and get to that sort of level. And yeah, we need to try and sign some players. Basically, if you have a look at the transfer negotiations, I've received 3 offers for Berahino. I've kind of returned them with about 40 million, I think it was, in the previous episode. And we're also trying to sign Ramirez, Tosun and Neves. So those are the 3 players I've put bids in for. It's not looking likely with many of them, but I'm certainly still trying to sign them. And also Yaya Toure is on the way out, along with a few different players that haven't really impressed me. So it should be an interesting episode. There'll be quite a bit of player changeover, but hopefully trying to add some more English players into the team. I'm also wary that we do have 2 of our starting centre-backs out. One for 3 months and the other for 7 weeks. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. I'm tempted to bring in a replacement. There was one suggestion, which was Kurt Zouma, in the comments of the previous episode. However, I think I've just about got enough cover here. I've got 3 centre-backs that I think can do a good enough job for now. I've also got Gomez that can play centre-back as well. So I think I'm okay for centre-backs. Although it is a good suggestion bringing in Zouma, I think I should be fine for now. There was also Ben Arfa as well, which was a good suggestion. Not thought of him. He's obviously not English, and I am trying to add English players into the side to get more of them in there. Still got a few, but I think he could be an interesting player. I'll take a quick look and see what he's like. Okay, we will scout him, see what he is like. We'll also inquire about him. Not too sure how much he's going to cost. I'm not really too sure what sort of overall he is either, but we will find out hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Also, other players I think we could do with signing. We've obviously said with Ramirez, he's hopefully coming in, but at the moment it's looking a little bit unlikely. We've also got to get rid of Yaya Toure, getting that money from him. Munez on the way out. Wilson's on the way out, I think, as well. So there's quite a lot of players I need to get rid of. So we will just simmer ahead a few days, see whether I can get in any offers or try and sign anybody. And again, Swansea have come back and said they're not interested in the player that I've included. They're really telling us that they aren't bothered at all by having Callum Wilson as part of that deal. So we're just going to have to go with money. I think that's the only other option we have with this one. It's going to have to be, I think, 13 million. Hopefully they accept that. They might want a couple of million more than that. But I think that's still quite a lot of money. For someone that's only 80 overall for a 26-year-old is quite a bit. I just need to quickly check, actually, if I have got him listed, Callum Wilson. He's not even listed, so we will add him to the transfer list. We've managed to make him more expensive since joining, so hopefully we can sell him on for a little bit of a profit. And we might have to actually have a look at a couple of other strikers, maybe a faster striker, maybe bring back Jamie Vardy, who was at the club beforehand. Let's have a look how he's getting on, see whether we could bring him back. And this is him here at Middlesbrough, 72 overall, and he's lost some of his pace, actually. That's a little bit disappointing, but I might bring him back in. I know I'm not going to get him on a pre-contract agreement, but I'd certainly be tempted to bring him in. If they want to let me have him for 1 million, I think we might have a go at having Vardy back at the club. Transfer offer in here for Rossetti, and this just tells you how good our youth academy has been at producing good players. Look at this, Real Madrid are after our goalkeeper, our backup keeper, and they're putting a bit of 4.7 million, which isn't loads, but he's only 18 years old. We are going to reject that. He's obviously got the capabilities to go ahead and grow to possibly even 90 overall if we were to continue the career mode long enough. And I've also got a couple of other teams coming back with bids. Ajax are a long way off the mark on that bid of 24.3 million. And at West Ham, 32.5. I'm not interested really, unless they're going to give me some bigger money. I was really after around 40 million for him, which is obviously a lot of money. Basically, they've come back with this one, and they said that he's worth 8.5 million, Ben Arthur, which is, again, a little bit more than I was thinking. I was hoping for maybe around 6. But we'll see what they say to that initial bid. Again, he's 30 years old, so he's not particularly young, and he's not someone I'm going to be spending loads of money on. But someone that I could be spending quite a bit on is Ramirez. I really want him in the team. I think he'd be fantastic for us. So I'm going to put in a bid of 10 million. Hopefully try and get him in. Also going to be going for Neves as kind of like a backup if that one doesn't work. They're wanting 8 for him, and that's obviously a lot more than I put in initially because he's only got 6 months left on his contract. So we'll up that to 5.5 and maybe they'll agree to that. And Leon have come back and they said they don't believe he's worth that much. I think I put in 40 or 42 million for Berahino as the counter offer, and they've just come back and said they're not interested at all. Manchester United are in talks to sign Hulk. Wow. Okay, that could be an interesting player. They're obviously second in the league at the moment, so that could add some more rivalry to it. And look at this, Middlesbrough. I've come back and they've accepted £1 million for Jamie Vardy. We will go with the 2-year deal. We'll go with a rotational player. We'll be fair with him. I think that is what he will be if he comes back. He certainly won't be a starter with Berahino there. He'll be someone that comes off the bench and hopefully grabs us a few goals, or a few more than Wilson has anyway. And we've got some more emails through. They want 20.5 million for Tosun. We can't do that. I mean, his stats are pretty good. He's tall. He's fast. He seems to be good in the air. He kind of suits everything I'm after, but for 20 million, I'm wanting another Berahino, really, if I'm going to spend that sort of money. So I can't really do that, and I will have to move on to a different striker because he's simply just not worth it. We've got another email back from Porter saying they want 8 million yet again. They don't want to budge on that one, do they? We might have to add a player in, see what they say to that. The player I'm going to try and add in is Sobrino. I don't think I've put in this sort of bid before for Neves. Could be wrong though. We'll wait and see what they say to having Sobrino as part of that deal. And Ben Arthur, they want 8.5 million. I'm going to have to leave that one, I think. It's just too much money when we don't have enough ourselves at the moment to get in some of the other players. So let's have a quick look at strikers and see whether I can find a different one to put in a bid for. This might actually be the one from Sunderland. And I think he could be a good little player to have for us. He can play left mid as well. I think he comes from the French league originally. Is it Lille or something? I'm not 100% sure. But he's very fast and he seems to be a very good player. So we'll have to see what they say to our initial bid, which will be, I think, 8 million, which appears to be fair, but we'll wait and see what they say. The chief executive didn't have anything else to add to that. And we'll just have to wait and see whether they agree that 8 million is fair or not. Coincidentally, we've actually just got the scout report back on him a day later, which is a bit strange. But there we go. He is very fast. His finishing's 82. Dribbling's very good. Shot power's fantastic. So he could be one that could be a very good signing for us. Same with Zuma. And also this guy from Newcastle, which actually looks like a very good player. I'm going to put in a bid for him as well. He's worth 12.5 million. I'm obviously not going to try and spend that sort of amount. I think I'll go 10 million. I don't really want to go any further than that, because again, he's 80 overall, he's 26 years old, he's not that young, considering his overall, so I think that's roughly about right. Ruben Neves, they've come back on that one as well, and that's 76 overall. Again, that would be really good if I could try and get him in, but he's not my priority. I think Ramirez is my priority in midfield. And Chelsea have come back with accepting Ramirez. Okay, that wasn't expected at all. 70 grand a week he wants, let's just quickly match that. And hopefully he'll agree to the contract. Only thing is, when he does accept, I'm not going to have enough money to sign anybody else at all. So I need to really make sure that I can sell Yaya Toure, get rid of Wilson, and there's so many other players as well. I think have got quite a bit of value that I still need to get rid of. Need to try and do that as quick as possible now to get in a new striker and a couple of other different positions as well. We've got this game against Villa now. We are actually going to play this game. I don't usually play many matches in the transfer windows, but we are going to play this one. We are at home. It's an FA Cup game. And it's one that I'm actually going to try and put out my strongest team for, because we do have a little bit of time in between that game and obviously the Leicester City match following the next weekend. So we are going to play the game, hopefully get ourselves a win and get into the next round against Villa. I'll quickly change around the team, I think, and I'll be back in a minute once I've done that. And this is the team I've gone with. It's pretty much the side you'd probably expect, to be honest. Rossetti starts in goal because it's the FA Cup. The two centre-backs which have been forced on me, those changes, due to the injuries that we've got. And Cook starts alongside Bridcut as usual in midfield with Phillips just in front. Gray on the left, Meunier on the right with Berahino up front. That's the bench. Toure starts there yet again after having some pretty poor performances since joining the club. Let's wait and see how we get on against Villa. It should be one that we could be quite comfortably winning this one against Villa. We're at home. Byram could be playing, and it could be a good chance to show him what he's missing out on. Byram doesn't appear to be starting for Villa. I can't see him at the moment in the team. It could be that he's on the bench. He might not even be on the bench, to be honest. Last times we've played them, he hasn't been in the squad whatsoever. So, yeah, it looks like that move that Byram's done to Villa hasn't really worked out for him after forcing his way out of our club. And I think similar things happened with Charlie Taylor, to be honest. He actually wanted to leave. Byram, I think I got rid of him because he obviously left in real life. But Taylor, he definitely did force his way out of the club. And I certainly don't think he's grown as much as he could have. Villa have actually done really well in the opening parts of this game. It's been a very strange match, to be honest. I thought we were going to have a fairly comfortable game because I just expected us to control possession, but it hasn't been like that whatsoever. They have really controlled things going forward for them, and we've not been able to get into their half too often. This could be a good chance, though, actually, with Calvin Phillips on his left foot. Off the post. And Guzan just about palms that one away to safety. Acuna there playing a ball across the box. That's not the usual pass a defender makes. So why not try and do it again? And, we've got to do better there. Phillips trying to play it back to Meunier. Yedling going to try and play through Berahino. There's not been a lot happening in this game for us anyway. And Berahino's going to try and have a shot here on his right foot. A decent save from Guzan. Wasn't really going to trouble him. And that's really the only chance we've had in this game so far. So yeah, not been the greatest match for us. I thought we'd be playing a lot better than this. But we haven't just got going so far in this first half. Hopefully we can turn it around in the second half, but there's still a little bit of time here to possibly get a goal before we go into the second half. Here we go, this might be the final attack of this first half. Meunier trying to cut it back onto his left foot, and I think Berahino was offside there. He might well have been, but that is it for the first half. We are still drawing the game 0-0. Not a great first half really, not very eventful at all. We need to pick it up in this second half, otherwise we're going for a replay, which is not what we want. Really at all, because it just adds to the fixture list when you don't really need it at this time of the year. So yeah, let's hopefully put this game to bed now. Here we go, Meunier trying to go down the right hand side, trying to do something for once in the game. Going to put in a ball and to Berahino, but it does get headed over the bar. And I think we're going to have to make some changes. We're kind of forced to make some changes, to be honest, because it's not working quite clearly. So I need to maybe bring on Yaya Toure, I think. He's the only player that we've really got that can affect the game at this stage, unless I was around Callum Wilson. But then we lose out on Meunier. I think I'd have to do that, unless I take off Gray, who again hasn't really done too much. We'll bring on Wilson on the on the left hand side. I think we'll swap them around. We will put Wilson on the right hand side, Meunier on the left hand side, just so that they can cross it in the box more often. And we'll leave Yaya on the bench just for now. Meunier going to try and put in a ball to Berahino. I think he just went offside there. The play continues. Back to Berahino. See, those sort of chances, I feel we probably would have made something a bit more of them. But today we have been so average. It's been a very bizarre game. I wouldn't say we've been bad. We've just been a bit boring, a bit average, and haven't been able to do anything at all. It's been really strange. None of the players have looked like themselves. Such a bizarre game, this one. I'm not used to these sort of matches. I can't really put my finger on it. What is the difference? There's only the two centre-backs and the keeper that I've changed. Look at them going through here. It's again just too close for my liking. No idea what's happened with this team so far in this game. Trying to find Berahino with that pass. Okay, he has got onto it, but again he gets intercepted. We just need a little bit of luck, I think, here, and this might actually be it with Berahino. If it turns properly, Berahino, it gets deflected onto Wilson, which it wouldn't let me change to, frustratingly. Anyway, Wilson still has it. Cook with the shot, which is right at Brad Guzan. And that will pretty much be it for this game, I'd imagine. Yes, it is. Just as we looked like we could have attacked as well. Drawn the game 0-0. I mean, I don't know what happened. It tells you something when there's just one highlight. There's one match highlight there, just one. And it's Calvin Phillips hitting the post 20 minutes in. This is the only highlight from the whole game. Wow. Okay, that pretty much sums it up. That's all I need to have as the clip for this match, to be totally honest, because that was, yeah, very strange. I can't put a finger on what it was. Really bizarre game. I've not had one like that in so long, where we've just gone and drawn the game and it's been such a poor match. Anyway, let's move on back onto the transfers. Try and forget why that one was such a strange game, and accept the Vardy deal. Hopefully get that one done, and that should be a decent deal for us. In fact, I'm not going to accept it just yet, because I want to try and get in Ramirez, and if I accept that, I might not be able to afford getting in Ramirez, so that's what I'm going to try and do. We're also going to try and put in another bid for this striker. They want 11 million. I think we might have to chuck in Callum Wilson as part of this deal. I've not tried it with Sunderland yet, so we'll see whether they'd like that idea. And we'll obviously have to dip it down a little bit, I think, to maybe 5 million plus Wilson. That seems reasonable. I hope they accept that. And let's try and get in Ramirez first of all before we accept the other deal for Vardy. Okay, still no sign of the Ramirez deal going through, but Porto have accepted the bid I've put in for Neves, 5.5, and Sobrino. That is something I wasn't expecting. We are going to go 5-year deal, important first team player, and possibly get in a centre mid. And Newcastle wanting 18.5, ridiculous money for the striker that they've got that I was after. But you know, 18.5, nowhere near what I was willing to pay. Transfer offer in here for Liam Bridcut, 4.3 million for him. What a ridiculous amount. We will reject that one straight away. Ramirez has accepted the contract. Same with Neves. Sunderland coming back and saying they're not interested in the player. Nobody wants Wilson, do they? It doesn't really surprise me. I don't think he's actually scored for us in the games I've played. And yeah, I don't know whether we're going to be able to sign him just yet. Let's go with the Ramirez deal though. 10 million and virtually all of our wage gone. Just £9 left now. Which means we need a little bit more money to sign Vardy. I'll change it round so I can hopefully sign him now. And there we go, Jamie Vardy returns. He had a really good scoring form with us. I had to get rid of him to try and get in a better striker, which was Callum Wilson, who wasn't a better striker. So, yeah, I kind of lost Vardy in order to try and sign Wilson and Yaya Toure, I think. So I'm glad to have him back. It should be a good signing for us. As you can see, we need a little bit more money to try and get in Ruben Neves. But that should happen soon, I'm hopeful. But we'll have to wait and see again. On the other striker as well I'm after, we'll have to see whether I'm going to have enough money for that. It's going to be tight, obviously. We need to get rid of Yaya Toure at some point. That still needs to happen. We won't do the player development this time round. We'll wait until next week and after the Leicester City game and see whether we do have any other players that can go up. For now, though, we need to try and just sell some players. So we've got another scout report, this time on Paulo Oliveira, I think is how you pronounce his name, and 26 years old. He actually looks quite good, 81 overall. Not someone I can afford to sign, obviously, right now, but he's an interesting one. Maybe I'll get him at the end of the season. Not too sure. We do have the Leicester City game now. We will be seeing it, but through the calendar. Don't have enough time to play another match in this episode, sadly. I think this will probably be pretty much it for this episode now. We have beaten Leicester 2-1. Wow, I wasn't expecting us to win that game. I had a little feeling that we might have actually lost it. But here comes the injury. Is it going to be another centre-back? Is it going to be for a long time? Oh, phew. It's Yedlin. He's out for a day. What's the point of getting me worried when it's a head cut and he's out for a day? But we do have a player suspended, and it's Alex Motta who's been starting on the bench anyway. And we've got the centre-back, which I can't pronounce the name of, wanting a bigger role at the club. He's only 66 overall, I think, that centre-back, so I can't really understand why he wanted a bigger role at the club. But maybe he will get some more game time in the near future. And let's try and sell Yaya. Surely we can get rid of him. 84 overall. Someone's got to want him, surely. I just need to double check he's actually on the transfer list. Yeah, he's definitely on the transfer list, along with some other quite valuable players as well. So we need to get rid of them. We need to get rid of them quickly as well. I will accept virtually any bid for them. Speaking of bids, we've got one in, but for Dele Alli, a player I'm wanting to try and keep. And it's a ridiculous offer from Atletico Madrid. Not interested in that whatsoever. Moving on to the monthly scouting update, and then that will be it for this episode. We will reject him, reject that one, not good enough for my liking, reject that one also, accept the goalkeeper, and I think reject that keeper and reject that guy as well. So not anybody amazing in those. Yaya wants to start the next game. Ugh. I think that one's against Villa, isn't it? It's the replay. But that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this, then please hit the thumbs up button and also go ahead and subscribe as well. It'd be absolutely fantastic if we could go hit 30 likes on this video. Thank you all for watching. I will see you tomorrow for the next episode of my Valencia career mode, I think it will be. And yeah, see you next time. Goodbye.